I think we've kind of cracked the code of Andromeda now, a bit, at least how it works. It's spend dictated. Motion, the big meta ad platform that tells you what ads are working on Meta. So
with it.
Motion swapped its KPI of this is the best performing ad from ROAS to spend.
Makes sense.
That tells you something.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so it's very, very interesting how all this is working, and I do believe now that what we have is now a service based, e-commerce based, B2B, B2C. I mean, if we focus on spend and we can't shove everything into one campaign, I agree, is the biggest reason why Meta is failing at the Andromeda launch right now. It's because it's like, hey, everybody out there in industry land, whatever your best selling blop is, that's it for you from now on. Like, shove everything into one and hope it still works well and just focus on that one product now for the rest of your life. It's like, it can't be. If the creative does the targeting, and Meta was not distinct enough to say, I want a user who has a dog and the dog has health issues, but it's the mouth. It's not the AI is not going to be able to do that. Here's something that I thought was interesting. If I go and look at the last 14 days and we look at our campaigns that are spending now, these here. All right. So we got the amount spent is kind of creeping up a little bit. Purchases are creeping up pretty quick. This is flatlined in our CPA basically since the 19th, which has been really, really cool. But I think what was very, very interesting is looking from the 16th to the 24th compared to the previous period, because I believe we've removed the prejudice of potentially the conversion events from stopping a user from being targeted. We ended up shooting ourselves in the foot. And now my click-through rate's up 91%. So my old campaign that was spending $101,000 was getting a 5.61.
Yeah, let's do that.
There we go. So now our click-through rate is up 91%. We were getting a 5.61, spending 100 grand. And now we're spending 100 grand and getting 11.33.
Oh my God, that's insane.
Right. And now these are getting 15, 13, 14. So my click-through rate basically
went up high.
Right. And my CPC in tandem dropped 41%, went from 54 cents down to 31, but my CPMs actually got more expensive. Now, why would you double your click-through rate? Well, definitely warm traffic for sure. But I believe also what we're seeing, because this has been like kind of like every day since, to see a 100% increase. And sometimes this one I think popped up to like the 19 percentile.
Wow.
So it is going better. But what I believe happened was if this main campaign here was optimizing for immunity, it would want to start to focus on the joint people, right? So you're like, hey, I'm going to take my immunity product that has a fuck ton of spend, and because my immunity product has a ton of spend, I'm going to remarket your joint people with immunity ads.
Yeah.
And that simply was not landing. So if you're like, hey, I clicked on a blender and now I got this microwave ad just kicking the shit out of me, are you going to click on the microwave when you want a blender?
Yeah, it's more so just trying to shoot everything at it versus based on the parameters you have set up versus like an actual funnel of like someone sees this type of product, you probably want to show them this type of product, or at least allowing the algorithm to do that in the first place.
Right. So what ends up happening is this used to be the main campaign here. This was the main campaign, 100 grand in spend. So this campaign that only had immune ads in it was remarketing my joint and my digestive. Well, if it's going to take immunity product, which is the wrong SKU to remarket my joint and my digestive, is it a surprise we only got a 5% click-through rate? But now remember, this all products campaign now has immune and has joint and has digestive, and it can go anywhere it wants.
Gotcha.
So if I said, Caden, what product are you wanting to buy for Black Friday? Role play with me. What product do you want to buy?
Immunity.
Perfect. So go ahead and click on the immunity ad. And you click on the immunity ad. You're like, this is a cool product. I'm like, haha, you're never going to see that ad again. Ready for massive joint ads to be sent your way? That's what it was doing.
Yeah, it's forcing spend because that's all that it has available to it. And yes, that's the signal it has, or that it knows.
But now with Feeder, Caden can go through and say, hey, you know what? I'm actually interested in immunity. I'm going to click on that. And we're like, cool. I have 100 grand more in immunity ads that are going to kick the shit out of you now.
Yeah, it's a standard funnel, but it's funny because the spend is not as much on top of funnel. It's just the part that's a little confusing. I feel like it's kind of like a pyramid more so than a funnel.
It is. It's basically if I increase, if it's almost like it's like a pyramid, but the pyramid can be. Yeah, there we go. The pyramid was traditionally like you're right. It was like this here. We had our pyramid, and we had our digestive was a little bit. We had joint a little bit more, and then we had immunity. So so the reason why these two top ones couldn't scale is because as soon as these got activity, this thing down here was like, oh, that's mine. And it was remarketing the wrong product to the users. But now if we said, hey, if we have one campaign and I have 65 ads and you have your digestive, you have your immunity, you have your joint. I mean, and now everything can remarket everybody at any point in turn and take 100% of the credit. And it will also scale, and it will also be new customers. And I can control the amount of activity within this campaign by feeding it something. Great. Remember Paul? Paul's back. Paul's out of retirement.
Let's go, Paul.
We've taken Michael Jordan out of retirement. Is it any shock that this has a high amount of ad spend immediately? No, it's not, because this is the Pixel. The Pixel has a whole bunch of joint users. So day one, it was like, yep, nailed 4 sales at a $95 NCAC because it went to warm traffic, because that's just what it does. But it normalizes back up to the CPA of $300 that it always has been in for the last $4 million in spend. Why? It's not because the new campaign's finding new users. It's just like, no, I'm going to go after the immune product. But descending, you see immune. Then we get into some other stuff down here. Our Pro plan, and we have our keep going down further. And then you have your joint that's now getting some spend on it. And it's actually getting, my joint is having an NCAC that's similar to my immune product now. Like, okay, great. So how are we going to judge this? Well, if we start spiking up spend on other products, I should see less concentration at the top in spend of immunity. And that's the thought process there. That's what we're testing now. But so far, I've doubled my click-through rate, cut my CPA in half. I've dropped my NCAC, and I've sent 18% less people to the site at a 54% better conversion rate. Facebook's at 78% more revenue.
And you're not running the sale, or you are running the sale?
No, we don't run sales on Black Friday just because our product is I'm sorry, I'm going to the wrong website. Our product is basically like a subscription service. So we're like, do we really want to do it? We're like, nah. I mean, we've always had save on 25% on our critical bundle, but you see no Black Friday, Cyber Monday. There is no sales. We don't run sale on this. It's not people don't save their pennies to buy an immune support for their dog on Black Friday. But if we can prove that even on Black Friday, when everyone else is running, that we can actually increase, and of course, Google, we didn't do anything to. So Google's up 66%. Sales in Meta are up 72%. We have dropped our NCAC. Everything is looking good. Our recharge subscriptions, if we look at analytics subscribers, I think it's this one. Might be dashboards, customers, overview. No, it's this one here. I always forget. This right here is the date that we started. I think it was 16th, right? 16th or 17th. I forget. Compared to, we've gained 135% new subscribers. Jesus. So you can see here, it's like, yay, heading in the right direction. So literally every single metric is better with this structure and setup. 60% less sessions, but 12% more added cars, 24% more reach checkouts, 30% better conversion rate. Our orders are up 8%. Our return customer rate's down 10%, which is actually a big deal. And we just been week over week, basically 15 and 20% better each day. And our online store is up 35%. We just had a little bit of our recharge subscription go down because that's just not the week that they're going to be converting that week. So our ad spend is directly tied to this. So everything is better since moving to this structure. And I believe it's because of that feeder and also unreleasing the prejudice restrictive conversion event that Meta simply would shoot itself in the foot, because it's like, well, I could have given you that ad, but they saw the ad in that main campaign because we hit 2 million more people today than you did. So sorry, you lost. But it's like, well, what if you can count it too? And what if I can count it? What if we have the same creative? Oh, well, now we're a team.
Makes sense with the same conversion action as well. It's just because like it's less fragmented.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the creative's already fragmenting enough. It's just so crazy how like they just. Oh my God, that's just wild. That's why everyone's panicking right now, is because they're like trying to build like funnels, and it's like they literally told you it's the creative. It's the creative. That's the funnel.
Everyone laughed at me when I put the mask on. Yeah, it's basically it. Like, you know, I don't know. It's funny. I'm gonna be the arrogant douche here. Like, we've been saying this shit for a year. Like, I love where it's just like, well, you're a talking head on LinkedIn, and the rest of the 4,668 agencies worldwide also do the same thing, but they're focusing on in-platform ROAS. So it's just kind of funny. I mean, I think we've kind of cracked the code of Andromeda now, a bit, at least how it works. It's spend dictated motion. The big Meta ad platform that tells you what ads are working on Meta. So
with it.
Motion swapped its KPI of this is the best performing ad from ROAS to spend.
Yeah. Makes sense.
That tells you something.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So it's very, very interesting how all this is working. And I do believe now that what we have is now a service-based, e-commerce based, B2B, B2C. I mean, if we focus on spend and we can't shove everything into one campaign, I agree, is the biggest reason why Meta is failing at the Andromeda launch right now. It's because it's like, hey, everybody out there in industry land, whatever your best-selling blop is, that's it for you from now on. Like, shove everything into one and hope it still works well and just focus on that one product now for the rest of your life. It's like, it can't be. If the creative does the targeting and Meta was not distinct enough to say, I want a user who has a dog and the dog has health issues, but it's the mouth. It's not the AI is not going to be able to do that.
Yeah. I'm not just going to throw these ads out until you convert and on the wrong product and then waste a bunch of spend.
Right. So we were like, well, what if we could push it that way? And it worked for some time. Like, obviously, I think in my opinion, we've done better at Andromeda than every other advertiser out there. But this now adds a different layer of complexity to last click attribution dictating where the creative goes. Yeah. So if you have too much concentration, you accidentally have something leading the charge the wrong direction that you want to go in. And the only way to steer it back is you have to say, well, I have to double down on a different direction and cross my fingers and hope that both of those can run. And one doesn't just keep eating it up and stalling the second campaign because the first campaign is running at a high efficiency with high spend. It's like, how do you grow a new campaign if your avatars are similar between your product lists? It's not enough diversity for Meta to say, oh, Bob is not similar to Jan. They both are people that both are on Wednesday. They, both have dogs. They both have health issues. They both are looking at pet wellness, and they're both looking at something that has to do with cancer or skin tags or that kind of stuff. But it's like, do they want turkey tail mushroom or do they want, I mean, it's like, it's not going to get that granular. So it's like, if your audience is between the propane tank and the propane nozzle, shit, it's a dude that needs parts for a propane tank. You can't pick and choose how much the creative is going to separate out those users. They're going to target the same person. So it's up to our interpretation is user A and user B close enough that one campaign will overtake it? If so, you're kind of dead in the water. The feeder does solve for that now so far. Hey, if you like this video, we have a school community where we have a few hundred members and we cover topics, everything from the basics to all the way to the like hyper crazy advanced stuff that's like coming out next month. So a few hundred members there. We go live twice a week, something with an hour-long education about something that is very relevant to the community that week, plus a weekly Q&A where you just get to come and bring us all of your problems and we solve them one at a time.
So I have a link below in the description if you want to join. And then obviously if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and we can answer those for you. And we'll see you in there.